All right, so today we're going to be diving into the world of decentralized gaming systems.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes, specifically, we're going to be looking at the Ethereum Name Service, or ENS. You
Oh,
know how we use simple, easy-to-remember domain names like google.com instead of a complicated IP address?
right.
Well, ENS aims to do the same thing, but for the blockchain.
So instead of those crazy long crypto wallet addresses,
Yeah.
you could have something like yourname.f.
Exactly, and I think this is going to be a pretty big deal as more and more people start using crypto.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It'll make things so much easier for everyone.
But as with any new technology, especially when we're talking about digital identities and assets, there are definitely security risks.
Oh, absolutely. Huge security risks.
I mean, imagine if someone could hijack your Opted name.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, they could control everything.
Potentially, yeah. So that's why today we're talking about ENS bug bounties.
Okay.
These programs are basically inviting ethical hackers to uncover vulnerabilities.
Before the bad guys can find them.
Right, exactly. It's a proactive security measure.
Definitely.
So walk me through this. How do these bug bounties actually work?
Well, so ENS has partnered with a platform called Immunefi, and they've set up this virtual vault of funds,
Okay.
and ethical hackers can submit reports on vulnerabilities they find. And
Mhm.
if the bug is legit and it meets certain criteria,
Yeah.
they get a bounty.
So they get paid to hack into systems,
Ethically, yes, exactly.
and it's real money.
Oh, yeah, the maximum payout for a critical bug is $250,000.
Wow. $250,000. That's more than most people make in a year.
That's like a down payment on a house.
But they're really serious about security.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I'm guessing not every bug is worth that much.
Right. The rewards are tiered based on the severity of the vulnerability. It ranges from critical at the top down to low.
So a critical bug would be something that would let someone steal ETH names.
Exactly. Or like redirect transactions to the wrong address.
Got it. And those would get the highest bounty.
Yeah. And even a low severity bug can get you $1,000.
Wow. So even small issues can be valuable.
That's right.
Now, I read that ENS guarantees a minimum of $150,000 for any critical bug.
Yes. Why is that? Well, it discourages people from sitting on a vulnerability or trying to exploit it themselves.
So it incentivizes responsible disclosure.
Exactly.
Because if someone found a critical bug and exploited it...
Oh, it would be a disaster. People could
Yeah.
lose a lot of money. The whole system could be compromised.
Okay, so what types of bugs are these ethical hackers looking for?
Well, some of them are very complex, but others can be surprisingly simple.
Like what?
Well, like cross-site scripting or XSS.
And what is that?
So imagine an attacker injects malicious code into the ENS website.
Okay.
When your browser loads the page, this code could steal your login credentials.
Or even hijack your entire .eth name.
Potentially, yes. It's very dangerous.
That's scary.
Yes. And that's why these bug bounties are so important.
So they're basically like guardians of the system.
Yeah, always on the lookout for any weakness.
But I bet there are some pretty strict rules.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They can't just let anyone loose on their system.
Right. There are guidelines about acceptable behavior, what to include in bug reports, and what activities are prohibited.
Okay, like what?
Well, they can't publicly disclose vulnerabilities before ENS has addressed them.
That makes sense.
You don't want to alert the bad guys before you've had a chance to fix the problem.
Right. It's like leaving your door open and announcing it on social media.
Exactly.
Now, something else I thought was interesting was this primacy of impact versus primacy of rules.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a bit more?
So sometimes the potential impact of a bug is more important than whether it violates a specific rule.
Okay.
Like imagine a bug that could affect unclaimed yield.
Yeah.
That might not be critical right now, but it could be a big problem later on.
So they're thinking about the long-term consequences.
Right.
Now, how do they know these bug reports are real?
That's where the proof of concept comes in.
Okay.
Hackers have to provide evidence that the vulnerability exists.
So they can't just make something up.
Right. They have to show their work.
That makes sense. So it sounds like these ethical hackers have to be really skilled,
Yeah,
but also responsible.
definitely.
It's a delicate balance.
It is, and that's where Immunefi comes in.
Right. You mentioned that platform earlier.
Yeah, so it's like a central hub for bug bounty programs.
So companies can list their programs, set reward tiers.
Exactly, and they can manage communication with the hackers.
So it's like a matchmaking service.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And you said ENS has over $231,000 in their Immunefi vault.
On average, yes.
So they're really putting their money where their mouth is.
Definitely. And they've also earned the Immunefi Standard badge.
What's that?
It means they've met the best practices for bug bounty programs.
Okay, so it's like a seal of approval.
Exactly.
Wow, so we've covered a lot.
We have.
Big bounties, ethical hacking vulnerabilities, bug bounty programs.
Yeah.
But the big question is, why should the average person care about this?
That's a good question because even if you don't use ENS today, you might in the future. And the security of these systems affects everyone.
So you're saying it's important for everyone to be aware of this.
Definitely, this is about the future of the internet and decentralized technologies.
So these bug bounties are helping to build a more secure future.
Exactly. They're a crucial part of making this technology trustworthy and reliable.
That's a great point.
It's something we all need to be thinking about.
Definitely, it's food for thought.
It is.
So thanks for explaining all of that.
Of course, my pleasure.
And for our listeners, if you want to learn more about ENS and bug bounties.
Yeah, do some research. There's tons of info out there.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating topic.
It is.
All right, we'll be back soon with part 2 of this deep dive.
Sounds good.
Until then, stay curious. You know, it's funny. We always think of hackers as the bad guys.
Right, lurking in the shadows.
But this whole bug bounty thing kind of flips that on its head.
It does.
They're like the good guys.
Yeah, the white hats.
Exactly. And a lot of them are doing it to make the internet a safer place.
That's right. Not just for the money.
They're like digital guardians.
Yeah, like superheroes.
And it makes me wonder, could this bug bounty model be applied to other things?
I think so. Like what? Well, think about critical infrastructure like power grids, transportation systems, financial institutions.
Okay.
They all rely on technology.
Yeah, and they're all vulnerable to attack.
Right. So what if we incentivized hackers to find those vulnerabilities?
Like a bug bounty for the power grid.
Exactly.
So we could prevent blackouts caused by hackers.
Right. Or bug bounties for self-driving cars.
To make sure they're safe from cyber threats.
It's like an insurance policy.
That's a great way to put it.
And it's not just about preventing disasters.
What else?
It's also about fostering innovation.
Okay.
When you let ethical hackers test these systems,
Yeah.
they can think outside the box and come up with new ideas.
So it's like a giant sandbox for them to play in.
Exactly.
But instead of building sandcastles, they're finding vulnerabilities.
And making our systems more resilient.
So why aren't we seeing this everywhere?
Well, there's some challenges.
Like what?
One is complexity.
Okay.
Like a power grid is a lot more complicated than a website.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding a bug, it's about understanding the real-world impact.
So you need to understand the technology and the potential consequences.
Exactly.
Like us.
Liability.
Okay.
What if a hacker accidentally causes a problem?
Even if they're following the rules.
Right. Who's responsible?
It's a tough question.
It is.
So you need clear guidelines and legal frameworks.
Absolutely.
You need lawyers, engineers, security researchers,
Yeah.
ethicists.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
But the potential benefits are huge.
They are.
It's like investing in a global safety net.
That's a great analogy.
So you said earlier that bug bounties foster innovation.
Yes.
Can you expand on that a little?
Sure. So when you give ethical hackers a safe space to test systems, they can push the boundaries and come up with creative solutions.
So you're tapping into this pool of talent and expertise
Right.
that might not be accessible otherwise.
Exactly.
And those solutions could have implications beyond just security.
They could lead to advancements in technology.
It's like those old school inventors,
Mm-hmm.
but they're working in the digital world.
Exactly. And it highlights the importance of collaboration.
Right. We need to move beyond secrecy and isolation.
Yeah, we need to work together to build a more secure future.
It's like we're all on the same team,
We are.
facing a common enemy.
Right.
And bug bounty programs are a powerful tool in that fight.
They are. They allow us to harness the power of the ethical hacking community.
Okay, so looking ahead, do you think bug bounties will become even more common?
I think it's possible as we rely more and more on technology.
But we need to implement them responsibly.
We do. It's not just about throwing money at the problem.
Right.
We need to create a culture of security.
Where everyone understands the importance of vigilance.
Exactly.
It's like building a collective immune system.
That's a great way to put it.
So it seems like we have a choice to make.
We do.
We can either bury our heads in the sand and hope nothing bad happens.
Right.
Or we can be proactive and actually try to build a more secure future.
And I think that's where these bug bounty programs are so important.
Yeah.
It's acknowledging that no system is perfect
Uh-huh.
and that we need all the help we can get to stay ahead of the curve.
It's really smart to incentivize ethical hacking,
Oh, yeah, it's brilliant.
like turning those hackers into the good guys.
Exactly. Use your powers for good.
Yeah. And they get rewarded for it.
They do. It's a win-win for everyone.
The hackers get recognition and money, and they make a difference.
Right.
And we all benefit from a more secure internet.
Exactly.
And I like that it's not just for big companies.
Yeah, any organization can use this.
It's leveling the playing field.
It is because everyone's vulnerable.
Right. Everyone's a potential target.
And the bad guys are always coming up with new tricks.
Yeah, it's like an arms race.
It is. We need to keep adapting and improving.
So bug bounty programs are more than just a trend.
I think so.
It's a new way of thinking about security.
It is. It's realizing that we need help.
We can't do it alone.
Nope. We need those ethical hackers.
They're the experts.
They are. And I think as more organizations adopt this approach, we'll see a real improvement in security.
It's not going to happen overnight.
No, it takes time.
But it's a step in the right direction.
It is.
And it's empowering to think that we have the power to make a difference.
We do.
We can build a digital world that's both innovative and secure.
I agree.
So what can our listeners do, even if they're not tech experts?
Well, they can spread awareness.
Okay.
Talk to their friends and family about cybersecurity.
Yeah?
Encourage them to be more vigilant online.
It's like a ripple effect.
It is. We can all play a part.
Maybe some of our listeners will even become ethical hackers.
That would be awesome.
Imagine getting paid to find bugs.
It's a dream job for some people.
It does sound pretty cool.
It does, but it's not easy.
Yeah, you need the right skills and a passion for problem solving.
You do, and you need to be ethical.
Right. You can't be tempted to exploit the vulnerabilities you find.
Exactly.
So these ethical hackers are really like the heroes of the internet.
They are.
And as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I think the big takeaway is that the future of cybersecurity is about collaboration.
It is.
And it's about embracing those ethical hackers.
They're a valuable resource.
So thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yes, thanks for listening.
We've explored the world of ENS bug bounties.
We have.
And hopefully we've inspired you to learn more.
Keep diving deep.
Stay curious.
And stay safe online.
We'll see you next time.